Hello everyone. So we would like to start the workshop of IBM Worklight. So this is Talha Haroon, Business Development Manager, Mobile Solutions. And with me we have IBM Worklight Mobility Team Lead, Mr. Abdullah Had. So we hope you all are perfectly well and enjoying your professional life. So the main purpose of this presentation is to provide knowledge of cross-platform mobile development tool IBM Worklight, an expert-level opinion considering mobile first. The concept of this workshop is to make you understand how would IBM Worklight would be the best and possible mobile development platform for you with respect to your enterprise modernization necessity. So here is the agenda of our first workshop of IBM Worklight. So it's almost just some time, so we should have to wait for some other contestant or members to join. We'll resume in 1 minute. Okay, so we need to start the presentation of the workshop of IBM Worklight. So here is the agenda of our first workshop for IBM Worklight. We will look into IBM Worklight complete environments and components with an overview regarding the mobile application types. After the discussion of high-level structure and architecture of IBM Worklight, we will further see some of the most efficient and extensible features of IBM Worklight. At the end of this workshop, you all could start implementing the features and components in IBM Worklight with much ease. So, IBM Worklight. IBM Worklight helps you to extend your business to mobile devices. It is designed to provide an open, comprehensive platform to build, run, and manage HTML5 hybrid and native mobile apps. IBM Worklight can help you to reduce both app development and maintenance costs. It improves time to market, and enhance mobile app governance and security. Here are some features because of which we can easily go for IBM Worklight solution. It actually helps you to support multiple mobile operating environments and devices with the simplicity of a single shared code base. It actually connects and synchronizes with enterprise data, applications, and cloud services. It provides mobile security at the devices, application, and network layer. It manages your mobile app portfolio from a central interface. So it seems to be the most reliable solution and product of IBM for mobile application development. So here are the 4 key components I would like to demonstrate. First one, IBM Worklight, IBM Worklight Server, IBM Worklight Runtime Components, and IBM Worklight Console. So complete detailed description will be demonstrated later on in this workshop. Now the question is why we need to use the solution provided by IBM for mobile cross-platform development. The answer is really simple. If you need to develop any mobile application with rich interface, cost-effective, and most extensible features to implement, besides it, if you need to connect your application to backend services by using most authenticated and secure framework, then IBM Worklight would be the right choice to choose. Move on with the mobile first talk. Starting with the type of mobile application, web-based, hybrid application, mixed hybrid app including some native functionalities, and native app. So regarding the browser-based application, or you can say the web apps, unlike native apps, mobile web apps are not installed on the device. Rather, they are accessed via a web browser. These are server-side applications that actually renders HTML, typically adjusting the design depending on the type of device making the request. There are no programming code constraints for writing server-side apps. They can be written in Java, ASP.NET, PHP, or any open source language. So, whereas the hybrid mix app are just an extension of hybrid development in which some of the native features handled by using pure native coding. So, beside it, as you all know regarding the native application, which is dedicated to only one platform at a time, and development should depend on the mobile platform. Fortunately, the line between these two choices are blurring day by day, and hybrid is actually reaping all the benefits. Each successive update to mobile operating system like iOS and Android comes with an increasing number of improvements to the execution speed of JavaScript. So we are quickly moving from built-in speed to good enough to really, really good enough, and going in short order. Move on the hybrid app. Actually, as the name implies, hybrid apps combines technologies from native and mobile web apps to gain the benefits for each platform. For example, these apps are installed on the device like the pure native app, while the user interface is based on HTML5. This UI runs actually locally within the native container, which usually leverages the device's browser's engine. The advantage of using HTML5 is a consistent cross-platform UI that works well on most of the devices. Combining this with the native container, which is installed on the device, provides mobile users with access to local device services such as camera, GPS, and local device storage. So here are some of the key concepts and overview of mobile application development, and I would like to request Mr. Abdul Ahad to proceed the presentation and demonstrate IBM Worklight components and features in details. Here you go.
Thanks, Tola. Hi, this is Abdul. As we just knew about, like, there are different types of mobile applications, like mobile web application, mobile hybrid applications, and mobile native applications. These are the 3 different types of mobile applications that we have in the market. And now we are going to learn how we can create all 3 types using IBM Worklight. So we are starting with like a Worklight overview, like what Worklight provides us, what it like what the benefits we get in creating all these 3 different type of applications that can run across different platforms. Okay, Worklight is a complete suite of components. It provides different items through which you can create your device side, you can have your server side, you can have your middleware, and in this way you can have a complete management of your application from development to deployment to post-production. In Worklight we have like a studio. In the studio is development IDE, where we write our code for mobile web or hybrid or native applications, and then we generate a binary deployable that we deploy on the devices. And we have another component or a part of Worklight, that is IBM Worklight Server, where we deploy our applications, and Worklight Server provides facilitates us to do number of things. For example, you want to send some direct update to your devices. Rather than releasing a new update for your app on the Apple Store or Google Play Store, you can directly send a direct update to your devices. We will be learning about what is the direct update and what are the other features that we have or that we can use in IBM Worklight. And same way we can have like push notifications, and we can have like a security like plugins configured on our server so that we can trace like who is making the call, which is the right device that is accessing our enterprise data. So all these things we define in IBM Worklight Server. And we have like the third component that we see in Worklight is Worklight Runtime components. These are the number of libraries that are present on the device through which we can achieve a native look and feel, through which we can do like security authentication, and we can do some other things. We will be learning each of these components in more detail coming in the next slides. And lastly, we have a fourth component that we see, we call a Worklight console. From the console, we can see, okay, how many applications we have deployed and how many people have downloaded our application and how many devices are subscribed for push notification. And using the console, we can have complete statistics of our application. Like for example, how many push notification subscription are active and how many like people have accessed a particular page or particular data in the month or in this week, so that based on those statistics we can play with our business and we can make our services better. Okay. Here we have a high-level architecture of Worklight, like how Worklight components are combined together to achieve the uniform goal. We just talked about like Worklight Studio, server, console, and runtime components. This is like a normal flow that, for example, you have a studio. Once you developed your application and you deploy it on your like iOS devices or Apple devices or any other mobile device, then on that device, Worklight gives you some runtime components in the form of libraries through which you can create a native look and feel, through which you can handle the authentication, through which you can encrypt your data on the device, and through which you can do some other things. So these are the by default provided components on the device for almost all platforms. And then once you have developed your applications and deployed on the device will make a call to your Worklight server. On the server, there will be some listening parts that will be listening to your device calls, and then it will be fulfilling your request and then authenticating that either the device is the right device either the user is the authenticated one and he's going to accept the right data or not. And same way, server is responsible to make a backend call with your legacy systems, with your databases, with your MQs, or maybe Salesforce or some other third-party APIs. And using the Worklight console, we can have a high-level overview of what's going on inside our mobile app, like how many people are accessing it, how many people have deployed our application, how many people have subscribed for a push notification, and so on. By the way, if you have any question, there is a chat window provided on this webinar. Please just type in and I will get back to you. Okay, we are starting with the first component, and we will learn a bit more in detail that what these components are, because these are the main components. By using these components, we create mobile applications and we can deploy on number of platforms. First, we have the studio or the IDE where we develop, we write our code. Worklight provides an Eclipse-based studio. The free version is available. Beside the free version, there are some consumer and enterprise editions for corporations. So in the studio, what we have tools to visually create UI for our mobile applications. We can write some couple of lines through which we can encrypt our data on the device, through which we can call a third-party API, through which we can using those libraries we can receive push notification, and we can do some other transitions. In the studio, we normally write our hybrid code. Hybrid comprises your HTML5, JavaScript, and CSS, and any third-party JavaScript framework. It's up to you. Either you use your AngularJS, any other JS framework that you want to use. You are free to use it. For the UI, most of the people use jQuery Mobile, some use it Dojo Mobile, some use it Kendo UI, and some others. All these are easily integrated in the studio. There's no restriction. You can easily just copy paste, configure, and start using that framework on the device side. Here, if we see on this screen, we have a snapshot taken from the studio. Here we can see it's as we are familiar, hopefully we would be familiar with the Eclipse Studio or the modern studio, where we have basic tools. We can have context help available, so that we can write less and we can achieve more. Same way, we have number of wizards available in Worklight Studio, through which we can just click, 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 and it will generate a lot of code for us. And we have a UI designer available in the Worklight Studio, through which we can design the UI for our mobile apps. And then we have a couple of simulators available for your different Android devices, Apple devices, BlackBerry, and Windows devices. You can easily test on the fly in the studio that how your UI will look like on the device. And by the way, our the native language will be HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript. Let me see. I think there is a question. If you have any question, please type in the chat window. Okay. Okay, now here we can see that this is another snap taken from the studio. We will be learning about how to use the studio when we will be doing our workshop, and we will explore that studio in more detail, how studio works, what are the UI wizard available through which we can easily create our UI, and how we can create different environments, how we can create skins, and many more things. Okay, on this screen we are going to see, like for example, once you have developed, you have written your UI, your device side logic, and now you want to deploy on a couple of devices or the environment. Now Worklight gives you a wizard. It's like a new Worklight environment wizard, where you can just have to select your desired environment, and it will generate complete your code for that particular environment. For example, if you selected iPhone, Android, then it will generate your complete code for the iPhone or the Android. And when you run on the iPhone or Android, the look and feel will be as per your desire. Means for the iOS, it will have the iOS look and feel. For the Android, it will have the Android look and feel. Same way, if you want to generate for like the BlackBerry, then it will have a BlackBerry look and feel and other things. Same way, we can have like different of libraries available on the device side, through which we can do a couple of things. We can have we can access the device features. For example, you want to access the GPS. You want to access the contact information that is stored on the device. So there is an API available in the studio that helps you to access your device features. These are the device side libraries that are provided by default from the Worklight Studio. As we talked about, like there are, it's free. There is no restriction on you that which framework you want to use. Either you like to use jQuery, Dojo, Sencha, or any other framework. It's up to you. Okay, the development steps will be the same steps or the same configurations that we normally have for other software. For example, you can have repositories, and you can have multiple your developers working in different geographies, and they can check in the repositories, and other resources can take their commits and latest code, and then they can generate and the corresponding environment, and then they can test on the corresponding device. Once everybody has created, finished his part, and then they can deploy on a central location, and then it's up to you, like how you manage your application development. Now, when we have deployed our application on a device, now how a device makes a call to Worklight server. Device usually send a call using the built-in or by default provided APIs on the device. For example, those APIs are responsible to authenticate with the server, to create a session on the server, to handle new direct update or new events by default for you. There is no need for the developer to write a specific code to check, okay, either server is available, server is up, or the direct update is available or not, or push notification is coming or not. There is no need for the developer to worry for. It's by default done by the Worklight. You just have to call the corresponding API, and it will do rest of the things. So from the device, it will make a call. Either it can be like SOAP call, it can be HTTP call over the HTTP or over the HTTPS. It's up to you. Once device has made a call, it will come to your corporate firewall. Firewall parse the call, and then it will send back to the Worklight server. So Worklight server usually check, okay, either the user is the correct one. It will authenticate against a number of security realms. We will learn about what are the security realms and what are the security settings that we have to do on the Worklight server or Worklight mobile applications. We will be learning these things later on. So Worklight server will handle the call. It will authenticate this user, is per our security configuration, and then it will pass on your call to the backend system. For example, you want to call a database, you want to call an MQ or web service, then it will do this things. And once these are things, backend has been called, then Worklight server respond back to the device. So as we talked about, like Worklight Studio provides different wizard through which you can easily generate your code so that you can write less but achieve more. Same way, if you want to integrate with your backend systems, there are APIs available which are known as like server-side Worklight APIs, through which you can call your backend, you can have your authentication frameworks, you can have custom authentication, or you can have multiple custom layers of authentication. Here just like a few examples are given here, like you can within this studio or using the APIs provided by the Worklight, how you can do, like you can have you can access your web services, databases, you can access your session data, you can store new data in the session, you can pass on your XML messages from device to server or server to device, you can achieve a secure connection or secure data being transferred back and forth, and some other things. And it also provides a very simplified debugging feature. Either you want to debug your device-side code or you want to debug your server-side code. There are APIs available, just you have to enable the API, like there is a flag, just you want to make it like true, then it will by default will debug your server-side component, or it will debug your device-side code. In this way you can see, okay, what is the problem with my logic or with my code, or what is the problem on the server side, why this call is not being enough to be a successful call. Same way, there are some APIs available through which you can achieve your statistics regarding your calls, like which user is frequently accessing a particular resource. So that based on those actions, based on those statistics, you can provide a better services to your customers. There are a couple of API functions available through which you can listen for those calls and you can record those calls in the database. Plus, you can authenticate, validate, and make sure that either the call is a valid call is from authenticated and a valid user and device or not. Okay. If you have any question, please go ahead. Before I talk about this direct update feature. We're seeing like if there is a message or not. Okay, we will see these messages later once we complete this one. Okay, what is a direct update? Let me give you one example that why there is a need for the direct update. For example, you developed your application and you deploy it on the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, and tomorrow you figured out, oh, there is a bug, there is a flaw in your product. So how you are going to fix it? So definitely you have to fix your code, regenerate the code, and you have to deploy on the App Store or the Google Play Store. We know on the App Store side, there are a couple of days or maybe weeks are available through which they take your new binary and then they make it public. So definitely there will be a loss, or there will be a time delay for your fix, and if the fix is very critical, definitely it will lose a lot of money for us. So to achieve this this problem, there is a concept that is introduced in hybrid applications that is known as a direct update. What you will do, you deploy your application one time on App Store, and users have downloaded applications on the devices. Now you figured out there is a bug or new features that you want to introduce. So there is no need for you to go again on the App Store and deploy your new binary. What you will do, you just fix your hybrid part of the application, like you fix your JavaScript or HTML or other backend code. Just deploy the corresponding update on the Worklight server, and when your application from the device connects to your server next time, it will automatically send new update to the device. So the device will automatically be updated. This is by default or automatically done by the Worklight. There is a setting through which you can enable this feature or disable this feature, but this is automatically done by the Worklight framework on the device side, on the server side. The device automatically checks if there is a direct update available on the server or not. If it is available, then it will update the device side code. It will bring a new UI, maybe new feature, or any other things. Okay, yeah, same way we have like a push notification. Maybe you heard about like push notifications. We are already familiar with like SMS. SMS, same way we send some push notification messages that goes from the like Apple servers or Google servers, through which you can have a connection with your users who have deployed your application on the devices. You want to, for example, send a message regarding your new products, regarding your some discounts, and you want to let your users, your customer know that okay, there is a discount available on so and so product, and for example, there is an event going on. So these type of messages that we send, that you want to send your users. These messages are known as like a push notifications. Worklight provides a feature through which you can easily send push notifications. Same way, there are number of APIs available through which you send your push notifications, and you just have to write 2 lines of code, and Worklight server automatically send push message to all devices. All the devices who are running your mobile application. And you can send push notification to Apple devices, Android, Windows, and also I think BlackBerry. Okay, there are a few things regarding the security, like we slightly talked about this one, like if you want to secure your data on the device side, there are some libraries available on the device side through which you can encrypt your data and store on the device. You can encrypt your data and send to the server. In same way, there are APIs available on the server side that help to encrypt your data on the server side. And for example, encrypted data will go from server to device and device to server. And there are some other APIs for which you can validate either the user is valid, either the device itself is valid, either the application itself is a valid application or not a valid application. There are some like keys or unique IDs that have been used for those applications or devices through which we track, okay, this is a valid application, or this is a valid device, or this is a valid user. These all things are by default done by the Worklight framework. So there are like if we go in more detail, like okay, what type of like securities that we have to consider, what type of things that we have to keep in mind. For obfuscation on the code, you can do the same thing on your device so that nobody can recompile it, debug, decode your code, and they can see like, okay, what the logic has been there. So there are some other ideas there, and I think we better will know these things when we will be doing a demo, and we will see how we can implement like security. What are the realms are there, what are the security layers are there, and what are the APIs available through which we can achieve these functions. Okay, I think this was our like the third part. We talked about the server on the server side, what the server does, like security features server provides, authentication features provides. It provides features for creating the secure data. It provides features for sending push notifications, sending direct update, and same as server side provides features to access your backend systems, databases, MQs, web services, or any third-party API. Now the fourth component that we see in Worklight framework is like Worklight console. On the console, once you deployed your applications and you want to see, okay, how many people have downloaded your application on which platform, like how many people have deployed on the Android, how many people have deployed on the iPhone, and how many people have deployed for the BlackBerry, and so on. Same if you want to see how many people have subscribed for the push notifications, and what are the active users that are currently accessing your applications. And based on these things, you can have statics, you can have tracking for those users. And there are I think there are like 5 to 10 tables in the database which are being used for tracking the user statics. Like, okay, which user is mostly accessing which part of our application. For example, there is a banking application and the user normally logged in and they see their current balance and then they log out. So this is the normal behavior of most of the users. So what a company can do, they can enhance that, like summary page. They can provide some other things so that it helps user and they can take attention of their users, and they can make their service bit more better for their users. Beside all these features, there is another feature on the console that we see is like, for example, you want to roll out a new version for your application. So what you can do, for example, there are thousands of users who are using your Android version, and now you want to let all these users know that you are going to roll out a new version for your application. So what you will do, you just open the Worklight console and just type in a message, okay, we have this version is no longer supported, please upgrade to this next version. You just type in this message on the console against this particular Android environment in version. And what Worklight server will do, it will automatically take this message and it will send to all those thousands of users. Okay, now once device or all those users have received this message, they are no longer able to access this old version. They will automatically be routed to the new version. They have to take this direct update of new version and then access the applications. So in this way, you can manage your applications. You can roll out new features. You can overcome to your bugs or issues, and you can fix your problems. This is also a cool feature. Okay. I think there are a couple of few more slides before we go. From the console, we can have like high level of overview, like how many people have deployed applications, in what page they are accessing, how many active users are there. Same way, there are a couple of tables in the DB that are by default tracking your user statics. So there is a flag actually that you have to enable, like make it true in the properties file, through which these statics will be enabled. by default they are not enabled, but you have to enable the feature. Because why? Because these things are taking too much space on the disk. So once you enable the flag, Worklight framework on the server side, it will automatically track, okay, how many people are the active users in what are the pages they are mostly seeing, and it will record all those information in those couple of tables. And based on those tables, you can have a BI system, and you can just pick the data and show in a graphical user form, so that you can have a better picture of your applications. Okay, I think the next part would be regarding the demo. Like we have to create a small application in Worklight that demonstrate all these features, how we can create a device-side application using Studio, how we can deploy on the Worklight server, and how using the console we can do all these things. So I think this is good for today, and we will have this session for next time. If you have any question, please go ahead in the chat window, and we will try to answer. Or if you have later on, if you have any question, please go ahead and send me an email. I will try my best to give it back to you. Let me see, there are like a few questions. There's a question one, like, is direct updates available on Windows and BlackBerry? To my knowledge, Windows for Windows, this is going on in the beta version. For the BlackBerry, I'm not sure. I have tried on the Android and iPhone, but I have not tried on the Windows. I believe it will be available for the Windows, but for BlackBerry, I'm not sure. Okay. We have another question, like when integrating with multiple backend sources like FTP, HTTP file system, can we use the Worklight server directly, or should we use another middleware such as IBM Worklight? Well, what will happen from the device always makes a call to the Worklight server. Now on the server, you have to write your logic, maybe like a web service. Maybe you write your custom Java code that will talk with your backend system. Maybe, for example, you want to call a DB, so you have to write your Java code, or you want to call a MQ, you want to call a Salesforce, then you will have to write those particular functionality on the server side. From the device, it will go on the server, and then server will call there. But if your functionality is available as a web service or a RESTful services or SOAP services, then from the device it will again make the call to the adapters. Adapters are running on the server, and then server will automatically route your request to the corresponding web service. I hope this answers your question. Please confirm, there's another question, third question, like write once in Worklight, run anywhere. App is generated binary for the desired platform. Did I get? Yes, this is correct. Like write once in Worklight and deploy almost everywhere. I cannot say like for everywhere. There are 4 major platforms that we see in the market today, like Apple, Android, Windows, and BlackBerry. But through Worklight, we can deploy some other platforms like Nokia, HP, Samsung, and some other breed of devices. Is the Worklight itself is based on the PhoneGate Cordova, so there is support for like I think more than 10 platforms. Same way, using the Worklight, we can deploy all those supported platforms. So this is true that write once and deploy almost everywhere. Okay, we have last. So like, can direct update be guaranteed on iOS? Are there any Apple regulation against it? So this is not against any restriction from Apple or Google or any other vendor side. You can have a direct update for your iOS devices, and direct update normally contains the hybrid part of your application. For example, you have like HTML pages with images, and now let's say you have like 3 pages in your application. Now you have created 2 more pages, HTML pages. Now you want to deploy these 2 new pages for all those devices who have downloaded your application. So using the direct update, you can send all these 5 pages to your devices, and it will automatically handle your request and it will refresh it. So there is no restriction from Apple side, and this is available on the iOS, Android, and Windows as well. You can send your updated code for the devices, and they will take it instantly, and then they get refreshed, and your new application will be instantly available on for all those devices. Just want to add one line. For example, there are few things. For example, you generated your application for example 2 platforms. We generated our application for Android and Apple, and now we did some native level changes on Apple and on the Android. For example, you want to have augmented reality on your application. You want to provide this feature, and definitely the augmented reality, how to implement in Objective-C is very different than implementing in the Android Java code. So definitely once you generated your application, a generic application with providing all features, now you want to write this augmented reality feature in the Objective-C on the iOS side. Okay, so this is a native level change, and if you want to send this native level change from the server as a direct update, this change will not go. The only change will go is the hybrid code like HTML, JavaScript, CSS, images, sounds, and these things are the resources. These will go as a direct update, but native level code cannot go from the direct update. Okay, is there any other question before we off for the day? Okay, if you have any question after this call, please write me an email and I will try to get back to you. Thank you very much for your time, and hopefully we soon will meet for next time, and we will have a demo on all these parts, and we will see how to write and deploy our applications. Thank you very much for your time. Take care. Bye-bye.
16th session.